Hey. Welcome back to them Brothas from Inglewood podcast. I'm Hoopy, your host. Want to say thank you for all of your support. I'm going to ask if you would like, subscribe, share, ring the notification button so that you'll be abreast as to when we're airing fresh and new content. Thanks so much for all of your support, placing comments in the chat, just giving us suggestions, helping us, monetize this situation. It's been a great ride. I'm going to kind of pick up where we left off a couple of days ago from the subject of Bridging the Gap Part 2. Okay, this will be another segment of what we discussed last time. But what was so fun about it was not so much comparing what we did in our era or in past eras with today's generation, but just kind of remembering some of the things that were really monumental and fun, things that really helped us become who we are today. And the kids and the youth are trying to, I guess they're trying to establish themselves, or maybe we're trying to adjust to this particular era and time, which it's appealing, but it's also sort of, uncommon. And why do I say that? I say that because a lot of things that we did as it relates to interacting with one another, these young people today, they do a lot of things on social media. They watch a lot of television. They communicate through technological advances, cell phones, all types of things, computers. And so, of course, we had computers in the 80s. I think the first Apple computer was probably designed in the late 70s or something like that, but not to the degree of what kids are doing today. So I just want to talk about how we used to go to house parties, and we had not necessarily a skilled DJ, even though we did have DJs, but most of the DJs was somebody's uncle, somebody's dad, and they were playing a series of songs really at our request. They would write their stuff down, but it was really us going back and forth to the DJ booth, asking if they would play a certain song, if they would slow it down, play some slow jams and things like that, which was it was just a great time for young people coming together and enjoying themselves when school was out, on the weekends, on breaks, on holidays and things like that. A lot of people plan their dances and their house parties around those times when we were out of school. But it seemed like, when we were young, we were going to a house party every weekend. And a lot of times my mom, I guess I'm so excited about it, that's why I'm laughing, because it's just really bringing back so many memories. My mom was the type, if she didn't feel that you should go, you wasn't going. And I mean, it was not changing her mind, right? And so a lot of times my mom wouldn't let us go, and we were all boys, and you would think, being all boys, being raised by your mom, there was a lot of leniency, but it wasn't. Not with my mom. My mom was really, I would say, she had a lot of boundaries and restrictions, and if she felt something, she was not going against her gut feeling, okay? But we were sort of known to be a part of these really, really great house parties. We went to elementary school and middle school with some of our peers. Man, nobody could throw a house party like Ernest Tail and Tracina Tail and their older sister. I mean, because the older sister was in high school. So she was, of course, always older than we were. So she would throw a house party for her younger siblings and, of course, invite her friends. And now you got like the high school mixed with the middle school. And I think, some of us was in 6th grade, 5th grade. So she's chaperoning us. But at the same time, she's invited most of her friends. So it's like a major jam, and but it was fun. It was innocent. And I know a lot of people today, they don't really know anything about a good house party. Most of the situations now in this era, especially with the technological advances, we can get our songs off of the internet. We can call in a professional DJ who they don't even use the records and the the turntables like the kind that we grew up seeing in the 70s and 80s, where in the 70s disco was like a big thing. So club parties and situations were like really super popular. But now they have like these digital technology, equipment that they can just pull stuff right from the internet, or they have their own special logs and stuff like that, which, songs are still songs, but the whole environment are some of the things that it makes you want to go back to that system. Because it created relationships. We were able to, get together with people from the west side, east side, the north side, the south side of Los Angeles, where when you talk about east side, you got to talk about Watts. Of course, South Central LA, Watts, Compton, Long Beach. You got areas that were like Paramount, and I don't want to say City of Industry because that was a little bit further over. Of course, Downey, Whittier, Norwalk. Those areas were really far, to the east. But still, you had just a plethora of people coming together and partying and just having fun. We didn't experience a lot of violence and a lot of distractions from that degree. We did know of some of the trouble that was happening, but all in all, we had some clean fun. Today, it's kind of scary because you learn that innocent people are harmed at clubs. Most in this era, most of the party situations are at facilities, club events or hotel events and things like that. And so it's not as intimate as it was when we were coming along. And then the music is different, everything is different. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that when you're bridging the gap, you have to understand that it's pretty much a similar system. You're just using different devices. You have a different element of resources that's used. I think what they have today, equipment-wise, exposure to technology, is much more advanced than what we had. But I think the genuine approach to it, the fun that we had, the relationships that we built, it was a lot different. The sports generation or community back then was different. Parents came together. They comprised their resources. Some were assigned to get cups. Others were assigned to get plates. Some brought utensils, forks, napkins, spoons, knives, Others brought fruit. Some brought the meat. Some brought potato salad. So it was like a huge community that was on the same page. And that was something that I always remembered and I miss, but at the same time try to share the information and share the concepts with today's era. And I think when we learn how to, and I'm not saying stay stuck in the past, I'm not trying to relive the past, I'm not trying to stay or remain in that era. I'm just trying to say, if we have the same attitude, intent, the same focus and vision that we had then for today, I think our young people would enjoy it and have a lot more productivity. Because I think today, with everything happening in the world, especially when COVID-19 hit, and we had to change everyone in the entire country, United States, and even in foreign countries, we kind of had to change our protocol. We had to change the way we do life, okay? And COVID is still here. I've seen some of the outbreakage. President Biden, he's in isolation. He came down with it. And so we know that COVID is still here, but it just changed and ushered in a whole different way of living. But it also brought us back to a fundamental place of community. We were isolated for a minute. We were restricted from trying to, do things a certain way. And now we've learned how to navigate. We learned how to get through it, how to balance it in a sense. But it works against us too, because our kids are not as social. Our kids are more isolated within their community, and they don't have to be anymore. It's like they could be sitting next to each other. They can be in a group. I've seen basketball teams, athletic teams in general, and they're all just pecking away at their phone. They're just typing on their phone. They're like looking at videos. They have their headphones on, but they're together. And it's like, okay, you guys are on the same team. You guys go to the same school, and nobody's talking to each other. It seems like everybody is just into what they're into. And we weren't like that. We engaged, and I don't believe it's because of technology. I believe that today's youth, they stop going outside, they stop physically participating in games and in competition. They stay inside, they are in their rooms, they're back and forth to the kitchen, eating snacks, ordering fast food, Ubering, Uber Eats, and all of these other concessions, which, our parents, they didn't even let us eat out like that. If we went to McDonald's, if my brothers and I got a chance to go to McDonald's, it was because we had not gone in a long time, or my mom absolutely did not have time, or was just too fatigued to prepare a meal, or she was trying to treat us. Other than that, we had a home cooked meal every day. We had breakfast, hot breakfast before we went to school. We had lunch at school, and then when we came home and my mom got off of work, she was preparing dinner. She was getting it together, So we stayed together as a family unit as well. That kept families together. We had a time frame where we ate together, where we watch TV together. It's not like that today. And I believe it's not like that because a lot of the parents, they just lowered the standard. They just switched up. They said, you know what? We don't have to do it this way. The kids are more independent. They're smarter. They're able to do for themselves. You got kids trying to work the kitchen at like 8, 9 years old. You know, you got parents telling them, oh, go make you some cereal. Go make you some oatmeal. Go put the toast in the toaster. Go. And it's like, or they say, well, hey, order you something from Uber Eats. Now you got a car, a person bringing your child their lunch, their dinner, their breakfast, because you did everything on your phone and ordered it. I'm like, where do they do that at? You know, my kids included. You know, they call me, Dad, can you send me some change? I want to order something from Uber Eats or DoorDash. And, you know, I'm like, okay. Because, and I'm like, I'm only okay with it because my kids are not physically in the home with me. So I'm assuming, okay, they're hungry. Not that I'm for fast food, because I'm really not. I would rather have a home cooked meal and all the above. Because when my kids would come over on the weekends or through the week, I cook for them. I cook for myself. So I'm not so much, you know, like my mom would say, I don't eat out of the bag all the time. And so those are the differences between the old era and today's era. And still, we're talking about bridging the gap. We're not saying throw out what is happening today. I'm just saying, can we give it a little structure? Can we kind of, you know, look at it in a sense to where we don't want to lose something. We don't want to lose that touch, that common touch of humanity, strengthening the bonds, because we're doing more things together now. I just think that's an important way to bridge the gap between the distance that we've been experiencing. And so if you chime in and just kind of give me some scenarios, give me some concepts that you see and that may be helpful moving forward, that we can just talk about and dialogue, you know, through, you know, other platforms and other streams, right? Because what we're really trying to do is we're really trying to get our community back together. We're trying to get people talking again, talking more. We're trying to get people more concerned about one another. Because, listen, mental health is real. A lot of people are going through situations and circumstances that you would not believe because they don't talk about it. But look at this. They don't talk about it, but we don't ask about it. We don't communicate. We don't call anyone and do what we call a wellness check, you know. And to me, that hurts the entire community, because you don't know who's going through what and who's really on edge. I've talked about this before. I talked about, you know, suicide and things that, you know, just happen, and it becomes critical. And it's scary because it doesn't have to be that way. A lot of us are going through things that we feel we're going through it alone. We're not getting the support. We don't have the the wherewithal to bring resolve to whatever it is we're experiencing, and it's causing us to go deeper and further into our shell, right? It's almost like don't ask, don't tell, so to speak. and a lot of people are hurting, and we have to bridge the gap of communication, bridge the gap of relationship, bridge the gap of help and assistance, and feel the common need for helping, to develop a sense of empathy and concern for your fellow man. I said it before, it doesn't have to be directly people your family, your children. Can it be that person that you pass at least through the week when you go to work and you see that certain person who's pushing a cart, sleeping on the sidewalk, just walking and just kind of oblivious to where they are, who they are, and we just bypass them every day? Don't you feel something? Do you feel anything? And a lot of times people feel like, hey, that ain't my problem. It's no telling, how they got there. They probably want to be there. And, they got mental problems, mental illness. What can I do? And I just think that if we're going to really cross over and see our young people advance and see the community do what I believe they're predestined to do, we're going to have to get involved. We're going to have to engage. We're going to have to share our resources. We're going to have to open up our hearts, open up our pockets, open up our resources. It's everybody's not going to be an entertainer. Everybody's not going to be on television. Everybody's not going to be a professional athlete. We're going to have to be professionals in the lane that we were predestined to be. If you're a social worker, be the best social worker. If you're a mail carrier, be the best that you can be. If you're a janitor, if you're a custodian, if you're someone who works in sanitation, if you're in ministry, whatever it is you do, if you're a teacher, let's be the best that we can be. And in those things, watch this, a lot of these things that we serve in are customer service. But a lot of us don't have customer service hearts. We don't have a customer service spirit. We're mean, we don't smile, we're not helpful, we're shy, we won't talk, we won't communicate. It's almost like you want the job, but you're not good at the job. Or you only do what you feel is necessary just to get by, to say you did your job. But you want your check. You want your full pay, but you didn't really put in a full effort. So there's a lot of ways that we can bridge the gap in life, and there are a lot of ways that we can be of better assistance and better service. Because if the truth be told, I really want to see young people in general. I'd like to see my own children, yes, personally, carry out the Great Commission of humanity. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. Love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Show compassion. Don't close your bowels up against them. But if you see someone in need, if you see someone hurting, if you see someone that needs help, let's do our part. People solicit all the time. And the first thing that goes through our mind is, man, I ain't got no money to just be giving people. I got bills to pay. I got children. They got to eat. They got to have clothes. That person may be a scammer. Who's to say that they don't have more money than me? We're always thinking sort of negatively, but in a way to convince ourselves not to do it. We're always entertaining a thought process that would cause us not to do it. When at the end of the day, it's just like church. When it's time to give an offering, even if you're in a system where they don't ask for an offering, they just have the receptacles out when you come in, when you leave. It's just at your disposal, and it's at your leisure. You can give whatever you want to give in the amount. You can not give. It's up to you. Nobody is prodding you and picking you or pressuring you to give. Well, it's the same thing, because at the end of the day, we don't know what their situation is. You can't put everyone in the same situation. I know that there have been scammers. I know that there are scammers still out there. I don't think everyone is out here scamming. I don't think everyone is out here getting rich from being a panhandler, just soliciting whoever they can from the kindness of their heart and taking advantage of them. No, I just really believe that if you have any level of discernment, and I believe all human beings have a portion of discernment, you can try to figure out, is this person sincere? Should I do this? But let's go on what's really in your heart. Sometimes we're moved to compassion to just do. We don't always know why. We don't know the name of the person. We don't know the name of the system or the facility that we're gonna give into, but something in our hearts moves us to do it. So I know I said a whole lot, but I'm really passionate about it because I would like to see better relationships established. I would like to see more togetherness and camaraderie. I would like to see us work together, all humanity. Forget the racism and the bigotry and the bias and the systems that are in place to oppress people and suppress, the progress of others. I'm not for that. I'm not, prejudiced. I'm not, a racist. I just believe we should be fair. And so, I'm I'm really, really close to this topic and conversation, but I charge you to bridge the gap in your life, in your community, and the environment that you're a part of. Be a part of the solution and not a problem. And let's see if we can build a stronger foundation for the youth of America and for this generation as we're living in it and as we see it. Conversation is coming to a stop. We're out of here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again really soon. Like, subscribe, share, ring the notification button so that you'll be abreast when we're airing new content. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your comments. Peace. I'm out.